Everybody, this is Symphony Pickard, and today we're going to talk about how to incorporate our pinky into our guitar playing. So I'm here with Guitar Control. If you haven't already, please go ahead and go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Just go to youtube.com/guitarcontrol. As always, I'm going to do about 30 minutes of lesson, and then I'll do a Q&A. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you guys some tips and tricks that I use that I think will really help you with your pinky. So the first example I have is Crystal Mountain by Death. If you guys can see me, make sure you say hi. I want to make sure that you can all see me. So say hi on YouTube and say hi on Facebook, and we'll make sure that we're all good. So I'm going to play while we do that. So let's see. Looks like it's good. So here's how Crystal Mountain goes. And then there's this cool part we're going to go. And it's not too hard, but it's pretty cool. So I wanted to make sure that you guys kind of follow along. And I think if I give you something that's more musical, it's always more fun to practice. So I can't see my video on YouTube. So if you can see me, make sure you say hi. Hi, Taylor. Oh, thank you, Taylor. That means a lot to me. I really appreciate that. Hi, Lorenzo from London. That's amazing. So that's really cool. I really love hearing that you guys get a lot out of these lessons. So makes it really fun and cool to do them. So I'm glad that that's happening. So make sure you say hi, and let's make sure we're good. Cool. I'm pretty sure we're good. So I'm gonna check. Cool. So that first part, I do use my pinky. It's not in a solo, but I still think it is important to use your pinky, and depending on your level, maybe you haven't really got into that. I didn't use my pinky forever until I was in a band where the other guitar player did use their pinky a lot, and they would play stacked fifths and go, or sorry, they would play 9 chords, and they would do that, not stacked fifths, but they would go, so I would have to go, and I'd have to do that. So even just doing that is a pretty good exercise. I'm just going 5th fret, 6th string, then I'm using, and that's actually, the band Death uses this a lot too. So I'm using my middle finger to really make sure I can get that reach. So I'm on the 5th string, 7th fret, and then my pinky on the 9th fret. And if you've never used those chords, they're pretty fun too, especially for heavy music, because they're kind of pretty too. So I think that's kind of cool. Let's see. Good. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Raymond. Cool. So yeah, they're really pretty. I know that sounds funny to say about heavy music, but it's just fun to have them. So and you can kind of pick them individually. The song Floods by Pantera uses that too, but that really, really helped me. Cool. Oh, thanks, Kip. I really appreciate that. So even just doing what I did right there could be a really nice exercise too. It's just going, just kind of arpeggiating. So I went 6th string, 5th string, 4th string, back to 5th. And then I went back again to the 4th string, 5th, 6th, 5th. So I went 6, 5, 4, if I'm saying strings, right? So 6, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 5. That's really helpful too. Yes, stacked fifths are cool. So, let's make sure you guys can see me. Wow, hi from, oh, you guys are all over the place. That's awesome. Arkansas, Iowa, we have London. That is very cool. That is one of the coolest things about these two is there are people from all over. So let's go back to that example from Death. So if you haven't heard Death, they are really cool. They are, I know that is kind of morbid sounding, but they're a really, really melodic death metal band. And I was very, very inspired by them, especially when I was younger. Kentucky, awesome. So that first part, using your pinky in a power chord is also pretty awesome, I think, because it really fattens up the chord, and it's just so much thicker sounding and stronger sounding, so that's why I do it. Also, it gives you a little bit more freedom in your picking hand. So that's really convenient. I think just everything combined, the fact that it sounds thicker, it's, you know, heavier, you get to not really like worry. I really like to not worry about my strumming hand. So what I do is I really mute, or I use, you know, the extra finger and do that. So I can kind of just go crazy, especially if you're playing live. You don't want to be thinking or stressed out or anything. You want everything really under control. So for that first chord, I'm placing my pointer finger on the B note. So I'm on the 5th string, 5th string 2nd fret, sorry, and then I'm going to make that power chord, the normal power chord. So I'm using my ring finger to grab that 5th on the 4th string, 4th fret, and then pinky right under. So I go. So I do this like gallop, right? Open, 6th string, down, down, up, down, chord. Awesome, New Zealand. So then I go down a half step. So on the guitar, remember, half step's just 1 fret difference, so it's Shark Week, right? So it's like, it's our Jaws interval. So, right, so you would say B flat or A sharp. Then I'm gonna go, oh, sorry. Again, on just the B, and then I go B, B flat, and then F, G, oh, sorry, yeah, F, G. Sounds weirder when you hear it like that, but, you know, fast, it sounds pretty cool. And I kind of bend my chords a little bit too and add some vibrato because I think that sounds cool. So I went from here, here, and then I go up. So, and remember with that pinky, so the difference would be 2 fingers and your pinky. We're adding in that octave. So that's one way to incorporate your pinky. I would definitely make sure you do that. I think that's an awesome tip. I just like it a lot. Let's see, I had a guitar instructor who taught me a 4-finger, 4-fret rule. I always use my pinky. Yes, that is a very, very good thing to say. So Chris was saying that he had a teacher that taught him the 4-finger, 4-fret rule, and that he always uses his pinky. I think it's really important too, and I wish I just had done it the whole time. I do it now, and you know, that's great, but it's always better to just do things right the first time. And if you use your pinky, you just have, it opens up all these possibilities. Like I remember even just seeing Jeff Loomis do something where he would use his pinky to reach out and grab an extra note, like in a solo, like. Whatever he was doing, but he would go and lift up like that. So he'd get a whole nother range just by doing that. So you can do it anywhere. So remember, whenever I'm using a position too, I always try to tend to use the center of the neck because I think visually it's a lot easier for you guys watching, but you can use anything. So you can transfer these licks into any key. So don't feel like you're bound to that one spot or anything at all. So I just noticed that he would go like this. Maybe not exactly like that, but he would use his pinky to reach, and it just opened up, you know, obviously this whole new world. So just going. So even though your ring finger is typically stronger, it's good to use your pinky because, again, it opens up all these opportunities. And if you already, you know, kind of have that ring finger in place, you can also use it to grab some extra notes, and who doesn't want to do that? So in that case, I was just going 5, 7, 8, all on the first string. And then I went back to 5. And then I went out with my pinky all the way to the 10th fret. You know, instead of using a tap. And if you do that, you can use your tap to do even more. You know, I mean, I guess you could technically tap those notes, but it's just kind of cool. I always like to kind of throw that in. So I think it's pretty cool. Also, using your pinky in those, you know, those are cool, and bends too. I like to use my ring finger in bends, but you can use your pinky. Another good one is, so actually let's make sure you get that Crystal Mountain. Sorry, I'm going to not be distracted. Awesome, I'm glad you subscribed. That's really cool. Using the pinky is a must in your book. I agree. Is it incorrect to use a bar for the octave note? No, it's not incorrect. I'm a big fan of, unless it's going to give you an injury, I'm not really going to tell you that anything is incorrect. Because, I mean, I picked like Marty Friedman used to with my hands like curved like this, and I got a huge wrist injury, but he's fine, you know, so everybody's different. We're all different humans and different things work for us. So if it's not hurting you, then, you know, it's not a big deal, but I wouldn't prefer it. But who knows what you can create if you do that. So it's not wrong, as long as it doesn't sound As long as you're not sacrificing any of your tone or sound, it's not wrong. Hi, Jeffrey. Hi, Emil. Or it's Alyssa. Hi, Alyssa. So yeah, that's what I think. So back to that Crystal Mountain riff, we didn't do the lick. So I just showed you that first riff. Does anybody here listen to Death besides me? I hope so. And then when he has that melody, he goes. And we kind of did one of those with. It kind of reminds me of that lick I showed you guys before from Cacophony that I think is pretty cool. So, using your pinky and alternate picking. So on the 3rd string, 10, 9, 8. On the 4th string, 10, 9, 8. Or sorry, I said the wrong fret. 10, 9, 7. Sorry, 10, 9, 7, 10, 9, 7, 6. There we go. 10, then 8, sorry. It's with our pinky. So let me clarify that because that was probably a little confusing. So on the 3rd string, I'm going with my pinky. 10, 9, so right next to each other. 7. Then on the 4th string, same thing. But then I move my pointer down a half step and grab that 6th fret. So on the 4th string, so. Then I use my pinky to grab the 8th fret. 7, 5, 7, 8. 6 on the 4th string now. 7, 9, 10. So. And that's pretty cool, right? So hopefully you can kind of see that slide. So I'm just doing this in standard tuning. They are tuned down a whole step. So go ahead and grab that if you get a chance. Very cool. I'll see you next time. Also, oh, it is late in London. Thank you for tuning in. That's awesome. Oh, that's very cool. I really appreciate that, Lorenzo. I hope you had a good gig, and thanks for tuning in. Awesome. And remember, it is only Tuesday, so there's one more this week with me. I'll be here on Thursday, and then again the next week and next week. So I'll see you guys. All right. So the other example I like is probably going to be a little bit hard, but I think it's pretty fun to play. So we can also slow it down, but it's Inferno by Symphony X. This is a pretty metal lesson today. I didn't think about that, but it is pretty metal today. So I don't know if you've heard this song. It goes, that's the little first riff, so it goes. So let me see. Sorry, guys. Something was coming up on my computer and distracting me. So let's make sure we get that riff. So grab your guitars. This is also another one tuned down. So go ahead and tune your guitars down. And remember, feel free to ask me questions while you are following along. Cool. Thank you, Damien. That's cool. Richard? No. Awesome. Okay, so that very first lick, we're just gonna go. Oh, let's see something. And actually, while we're all tuned in, I do want to give you guys a discount code, so for hanging out with me today. So this is a discount to our Killer Guitar Control Secrets. So this is all about playing from the heart. I talk about this a lot because it's something that I truly believe in, and I think you get a lot more out of the guitar and out of music when you are playing what you want to play. So even though I'm showing you guys other people's stuff, I hope that you take these riffs and these licks and these concepts and ideas and you make them your own. So that's really what it's all about. You don't want to sound just like anybody else. So even when I play these things, I try to put my own little spin on it because it's more interesting to me and it makes me enjoy it more. Tony? Yeah, right? I don't know. Who doesn't like distortion? I do. So check this out. This is our Killer Guitar Control Secrets. It's going to cover 3 things. So it's going to do technique, which is all, you know, our speed picking, your sweeping, your tapping. To me, it's like all the things that color what we're playing. So, you know, if I just play a lick, that doesn't have a lot of color. But if I go, you know, I add like little techniques in it, I color it. Or even just, you know, opposed to. So coloring our notes, fretboard knowledge, knowing the notes, the chords, the arpeggios, and hand-brain connection. So getting what's in your head out of your hands. So make sure you check that out. I think that it's a really great thing. And I think it's kind of cool because a lot of teaching methods and instructional DVDs and even instructional books, they don't show you how to play like what you want to play. It's always how to play like somebody else, or it gives you a lot of rules. And this isn't about that. This is about playing and being the player that you want to be, so not anybody else. So if you're somebody that falls asleep with a song in your head, this is for you. This is getting the noises that you want in your brain and in your mind out of your hands. So how did Hendrix become Hendrix? That kind of thing. So make sure you check this out, or Michael Romeo. So that's pretty cool. Let's check this out. So, cool. Yep, I like those two too. So I'm going to pin this to the top. So make sure you click that link because that is a special discount. So you might as well take that. All right, so Symphony X Inferno. I guess the whole title will be Inferno, Unleash the Fire. So it's probably kind of funny that I listed these things, but I like them. I don't know. They sound so crazy, but I don't know. I think sometimes when you play guitar, it's an outlet. That's what I was trying to talk about earlier too. When it's playing from your heart, playing different things, music should really be an outlet and should be your own thing. So make sure you check that out. All right, so on the third string, 13, 12, 10, 12. And I'm going down, up, then open, 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 open. Then 10, 8, 7, open, 8, 7, 5, open. So that's pretty cool, right? So you want to speed it up eventually, but when we play it slow, let's go ahead again on the third string. 13, 12, 10, 12, open, 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 open. And then I move my hand over, right? So I'm using my pinky. And we talked a little bit about the finger per fret rule. So you said finger per 4 frets. It's kind of assigning everything to line up, right? So my pointer not necessarily being on the first fret, but if you've ever done these exercises, those, you do assign a finger per fret, same idea. So use the finger that makes the most sense. It's about playing really logical. So that's where your pinky is really going to help. That's where it helps me the most, is when I strengthened it and I started using it, it just makes a lot of sense and it makes everything easier because you're not stretching as much. Everything's just kind of lined up, right? Instead of, see how that looks harder? And then if I want to use that finger, I want to stretch more, for 3-note per string things, I can use it. So it kind of just makes everything a lot less pressure. I'm really all about, I had a really bad wrist injury, and I'm all about making the guitar as easy as possible on yourself. So, grab your guitars. So again, this is another song that's tuned down, but we are going to play it in standard. 13, 12, 10, 12, open, 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 open. And then 10, 8, 7, so pinky on 10, middle, pointer, open, 8, 7, 5, open. So if you can get it fast, that's pretty cool. Then 7, 5, 4, open. So it goes 1, open, 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 1, open, 1, 4, 1, open. After we go. So check that out. So I think that one's pretty cool. Let's see how we're doing on time. It always goes by a lot faster than I think. Okay, cool. We're doing pretty good. So let me know if you guys are playing along and you're enjoying these songs. So let's see. I'm going to check in on you guys. Oh, you know what, YouTube? I don't think that I gave you the code. So I'm going to make sure I give that to you. So again, Killer Guitar Control Secrets. Check this out. Yes, they are kind of like Dream Theater. If you haven't listened to Symphony X, you should definitely listen to them. Michael Romeo is an incredible guitar player, so you're going to want to check him out. Let's see. Oh, Rick's message is gone. So I'm sorry, I missed one of them. All right, so let's go ahead and go over that one again. This is really cool too because it's all on one string and it's going to kind of see you, you know, a lot of times we just look at scales like this and you're going to be going horizontally. So that's pretty cool. It's another really good way to kind of look at the guitar. And speaking of pinkies too, a lot of times the way when we're soloing and everything, the way that things line up on the guitar. Oh, thank you, Rick. If you request it, I can. So the videos that I get to do are based off of requests. So if you guys have requests, make sure that you send them to Guitar Control, and you might wind up seeing another video from me up there or one of these live streams. So all of these are actually requests from you guys. So thank you again. And that's another thing. If you're on YouTube or you're on Facebook, make sure you leave comments about subjects, lessons, topics, songs, solos, whatever you guys want to learn. Make sure that you leave a little comment and stuff and let us know what you want to hear. So I hope so. But that was fun. He was talking about, I did Call Me the Breeze, and I did the intro, and it was a really fun one. All right. I forget exactly where we were, but I'm pretty sure I was telling you to play Inferno. So let's go. Oh, I was talking about soloing. So a lot of times if you don't, you can look at the guitar in a few different ways. So you can learn all these scale patterns. You can think of the guitar in intervals. You can know all your notes and know all these things. Intervals is another really helpful tool. So seeing the guitar in intervals means the distance between the two notes. And the way that scales tend to typically match up is if you were looking at them all in one string, it would go whole step to half step. So this was the whole step. That's the half step. So that's one pattern, one way, right? So I would just say pointer, ring, pinky, if we were assigning a finger per fret, right? Like was mentioned earlier by you guys. So if I were to replace the next finger with my pointer, it'd be half step, right? Just like we had. But now we start with it, whole step. Then the next one is whole step to whole step, and then it kind of repeats. So that tends to work out all the time, or most of the time. So, and just learning those patterns too, using that pinky. You'll learn a lot of things that just kind of match up with those shapes. So the more you kind of switch up your patterns too and get used to that finger independency will help you a lot. And of course, using my pinky. I would be really uncomfortable playing a lot of these positions and doing a lot of these licks if I wasn't using my pinky. It actually, sometimes in your very first beginning, it seems easier, but in the long run, it's definitely not. It's a lot less pressure and just way easier on your wrist and everything when you use your pinky. It just makes sense, right? It's literally right there. All right, so let's take a look at where you guys are. That's awesome. That's very cool. Oh, no problem, Rick. Okay, cool. So we are almost to Q&A time. So if you have any questions, make sure you ask them in a few minutes. And again, thank you guys for sending in these topics. We're going to go over that riff again. If you just tuned in, we have had a very metal day today. We did Death, Crystal Mountain, and then I did Inferno by Symphony X. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. And there's a pretty hefty lick in this song too. So let's see if you guys want to follow along with that one. So I'll go over it slow though so we can actually really learn it. All right, so again, that part all on one string, third string, 13, 12, 10, 12, open, 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 10, 8, 7, open, 8, 7, 5, open. Then after it does it a few times, then we go 7, 5, 4, open, 1, open, open, open. All together. So I just like that one because you are really, really using your fingers and you're changing those shapes, right? Like I just talked about. So you're going, using pinky, ring, pointer, then you're using pinky, middle, pointer, then pinky, pinky, ring, pointer again, and then we have this big stretch. sorry. There we go. So make sure you're just getting this change from going 8 or 10, 8, 7, 8, 7, 5. So this is really helpful, and play things slow to play them fast. I haven't played this in forever, so I just kind of thought of it today before we started, and I just kind of wanted to throw it in there. But let's go ahead and try and get that lick down. So let's see how you guys are doing. Oh, thank you very much. That's awesome, Mark. I appreciate it. Play some Led Zeppelin. Let's see. There we go. Too bad we don't use our pinky in that one, because that would be really fun to play. I've done a ton of Led Zeppelin lessons though, so if you're into Led Zeppelin, go to our YouTube channel and check out Guitar Control, and make sure you go to our playlist. There's probably even a Led Zeppelin playlist, so make sure you check that out. All right, let's see where we are at. So everybody's good? Cool. I'm going to go over that lick, and then it's going to be Q&A time. So if you have a question, you can ask them now, especially if you're on YouTube, I'll see them. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So the reason I like this lick is because it's kind of moving around a lot, and I think it'll be good for you because there's a lot of pinky stuff going on. So on the second string, you're going to start with 15. So we go 15 with our pinky, 13, 12. So then we cross over, and I always think those are really helpful when you're practicing too. So just that first part. 15, 13, 12, cross over pinky. So it's 15, 13, 12. So I use pinky, pointer, pinky, middle, pointer, then pinky on the third string, ring finger, pointer. So it went 15, 13, 12, pinky on 13 on the third string, 12, 10. So just that part. All right, now we're gonna go up here and go to 16 on the first string. 16, 15, 13, then again on the second string, 16, 15, 13. So yeah. So, of course, practice this slow first. So 16, 15, 13, 16, 15, 13. We did first string to second string. Then I'm going to move my pinky in a half step and go 15, 13, 12. So again from the top. Right? So pretty cool. I like this one a lot. So right here, all on the second string still. Then I'm going to cross over with my pinky just like we did in the beginning. 13, 12, 10. Again, same string. Then same thing on the fourth string. Then 14, reach over with your pinky, so pretty big reach on the fifth string. 11, 14. So really easy. That's how we end. So on the fourth string, 10, 12, 13, and then 10, 12 on the third string. So I'm going to play it again really slow. Oops, sorry. I reached weird, so let's try that again. Make sure you're really using that pinky. So, and make sure you really reach over and get that last note. Cool. All right, let's see how we are doing on time. All right, that is actually it. So feel free to ask questions. Again, if you haven't checked it out already, check out our Killer Guitar Control Secrets. Again, playing from the heart. This isn't for somebody that wants to sound like anybody else. But why would you want to sound just like anybody else? Because they exist. It's just not the same. So even when you go see somebody else, try to play somebody else's songs, it's just not the same. I remember somebody saying that. I think it was when I was at MI. I think George Lynch from Dawkins was acting like, you know, he would try and play a Nirvana song and it always sounded different. And that's how he wrote a lot of things, because he just always sounded different. And that's great. You want to sound different. You do not want to sound just like somebody else, because really not creative, and you're copying them, right? So you want to be different. All right, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys this discount code. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm going to answer some questions, and then I will see you this Thursday. And then I'll see you next week. But I'll see you Thursday first. All right, I'm going to also give this to Facebook. And please, if you haven't already, make sure you do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Those are free videos every day, so at least 1 or 2 all the time. Battle of Evermore. I remember Evermore. I haven't listened to them in a while too. That's another incredible guitar player. Thank you, Jimmy. Can I play slide guitar? That would be a great lesson. That would be a great lesson. I can kind of play slide guitar. I can pretend to play slide guitar, but I probably should have put... I love blues, and I do play a lot of blues, but I wouldn't say I like have old school slide technique, but I would love to check it out and learn it. Is there a rock and roll lesson? There are a ton of rock and roll lessons. I think there's actually a bunch of Kiss, I've done a bunch of Kiss, I've done a bunch of Zeppelin, I've done, I've done a lot, like Cream, Hendrix, those aren't as rock and roll, but, I mean, I've done Rolling Stones, I've done, you know, some of those other rock bands, so check those out for sure. Play some Tool. I don't know any Tool off the top of my head, but I should. Any exercises for stretching? Yes. So, it depends on which fingers you are trying to stretch. I'm going to check Facebook really quick. So, I am a big fan of just those quasi-chromatics, but mixing them up. So, even though there's these ones, which don't feel like stretching and stuff, you can also start to change them. So, I just skip down one string. Then you can even skip over a string. So that stretches your fingers that way. But if you're working on just stretching in general, I talked about using the stacked fifths. Or stretching them a lot. I mean, building strength, I guess I would do these. But what helped me the most with stretching was just these kind of like stacked fifths. And then trying. Make up your own exercises too, I guess. I don't really sit down and do any for just stretching, but, and I don't think you're talking about this kind of stretching, but you should do that kind of stretching. But I just kind of do it. So I just kind of go. And just try it. And then you'll eventually get better and better. So right there, I just did. But more so than an exercise, my advice for stretching is really lowering your thumb. So a lot of times on the guitar, when we are stuck or we're lost with something, it's our thumb placement. It's not anything else. So make sure that your thumb isn't restricting you in any way. And so what I was doing again is 5, 7, 8, 5, and then I stretched to 10 with my pinky. You know, and you can kind of try it and get a little further if you can. That's a pretty big stretch as it is, though. So start with that one. All right, let's see where you guys are at. You can't see me on Facebook. Are you sure? Can anyone else not see me? I can see me on Facebook. So let's see. Cool. Yeah, playing to scale with your pinky. So just like you would be playing anything. I like to do sequences of threes. I think that's what you're kind of talking about too. So I like to do any of those, like. Well, then you stretch out. But let's just go ahead and do those first few notes. So let's go ahead and try that. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, back, 1, up, 2, right? So a sequence of 3. I went 5, 7, 8, back to 7, 7, 8, 5 on the 5th string now. Back to pinky on the 6th string, 8th fret. Sorry, I need coffee. So just getting used to that. Or actually, I really like that Yngwie one too. I've showed this song as an example before, but I really wanted you guys to actually, I'm not going to show it all again because we don't have enough time, but if you go back to some of the older lessons, or you just check out this song, I think I'm a Viking is a really good one for your pinky too, because we have any of those licks from like those master shredders are pretty awesome. So but see, I'm using my pinky. That's the one I really like. So those pinky ones, I went. So why I like it is because I'm lifting up with my pinky, I'm moving up a string, and then we got that little speed picking lick. So I'm on the 3rd string. I went 5, 4, 5. So I hammer on pull off. Pinky on this 7th fret, 4th string. Back to 4th fret, 3rd string. And then I go 4 on the 3rd string, 7, 5, 4, 7, 5, 4, 7. So check that out. I think that one's really, really helpful too. Awesome. So let's see. Anyone ever tell me that I look like Melissa Joan Hart, except she can't play guitar? Like a badass. So thank you. No, I've never heard that before actually. But maybe I can kind of see it. Let's see. Hi Mike. Cool. So, if you're just tuning in, hopefully you guys really enjoyed these examples, and using your pinky is going to help you a lot. So it helps you with stretching, it helps you just kind of be cleaner. For me, it kind of opened up this whole new realm, but I wasn't doing it until I really had to. So if you can kind of jump ahead of that and not be in that situation, because I was doing it when I was learning like tons of death metal songs for my death metal band, and just to keep up I had to. And it was rough in the beginning, and then it made me a much better player in the long run. So I would say definitely use your pinky, and it's easy to kind of fall back and not use it because your other finger's stronger, your ring finger's stronger, but I would definitely use it. So make sure that you do. And again, somebody was asking about stretching, check your thumb placement, so make sure that you do that. String bend with a pinky. Yes, I talked about that a second ago. I actually typically use my 3rd finger, I feel like. But I can use my pinky, but I don't actually love my pinky for bends because it is a smaller finger. But you can. And I mean, I guess you have more control. But I never do. I think it's because I like to have it kind of open for those licks. I love speed picking. But you definitely can. And it's a good option. But I don't use it in my bends. I feel weird recommending you use it in your bends. But I do use it in any kind of speed picking lick. All the time. In everything that I play, for sure. All right, so thank you guys for tuning in. I'll be here for a second longer, so feel free to ask me a question. Otherwise, I will see you guys on Thursday. And so again, thank you so much for sending in your topics. I really appreciate you guys tuning in all the time, every week. It's a lot of fun. So, yeah, use your pinky with these string bends. These were good questions. And all the people that were suggesting songs, make sure you leave those in comments because we go through these and we are listening to you guys. So if you left me a comment in the YouTube chat, make sure you actually take that and put it when the YouTube video kind of like goes live. So not live like this, but when it's just kind of on the page, then we can see it. Oh, thank you, Mark. That's really cool. I really appreciate that. So thank you for saying that. And again, if you haven't already, check out our Killer Guitar Control Secrets. So all about playing from your heart. Here is a discount code for you guys for hanging out with me. So thank you so much. Oh no, Mike said he always misses the show. That's okay. This will be on our Facebook and on our YouTube channel. So they live in a folder on YouTube on our playlist called Guitar Control TV. So make sure you check it out. Or in my playlist too. So I'm Stephanie Pickard. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let's check this out. What are the string size that I use? I use 10s. So I know it's very controversial what people use. But I use 10s unless I'm tuning down. So when I tune down, I use a gauge up. So depending on a step up, I go a gauge up. So 10s, I just kind of feel like they have a nice warm sound without losing the tone, and they're not like crazy thick. But the one thing that I do use that is weird is a very, very thick pick. So this is a 2.0. I get asked about what pick I use a lot. This is fairly sharp, I guess. This might actually be normal. I used to use the sharpened ones, but this might actually be a normal one. But I use 2.0s, so that's my weird thing. All right. So thank you guys so much. I will see you on Thursday. All right. Take care. Thank you.